everybody. I'm not in my normal environment today. I'm actually in Palm Springs. We're going home tomorrow. I don't have my normal microphone and I don't have my normal camera, so it's just going to be a little bit of a different kind of session today. But the process is the same. If you have any questions or anything you'd like addressed, please feel free to put that in the chat. I'm going to make sure that's open. And otherwise, let's just give ourselves an opportunity to come to a stop. Just go ahead and drop your anchor into this actual moment. And just let everything else fizzle out. You are the one holding it all in place anyways. So just stop feeding it and it will fizzle out. Instead, notice the room that you're in. Notice the sounds that you hear. And just breathe with that. When you're trying to shift the attention, the breath can become really helpful. Because a shift in the attention doesn't feel like an action, but when you tie it to the breath, it's like your body knows to make the shift because it feels like it's doing something. Shift your attention to this moment and use the breath to anchor yourself in this moment. The breath adds more than just an action. It's something that has a beginning, a middle, and an end. An inhale and an exhale. Which means it's in your world of time. So it's a way to blend that world of time with the timelessness of this moment. Meditation happens in that in-between space, that liminal space. Right up at the edge of the story and just past it, but before you let go of everything into dissolution. That edge, that's where the power is. We go beyond that sometimes, just to experience the nothingness. But that nothingness, it dissipates. The story itself, it traps and contains and distorts. But when you instead expand right up to that edge, that liminal space in between disillusion and formation, that's where the power is. That's where choice is. You go too far beyond that, there's nothing to choose or not choose. You fixate too far within the story, and you're the story's puppet. But right up at that edge, that's where the power is. That's where you can live a life informed by reality, but still useful to the stories of life, useful to the story you're trying to tell here in this realm of stories. So use your breath. Use your breath to focus yourself in this moment. How much of your breath can you give? How much of that time-bound phenomena of an inhale and an exhale can you devote to presence? If you can do that wholeheartedly, if you can do that with everything you have, releasing anything that blocks you in the process, then you can have both your story and the freedom that lies beyond it. Try that now. With every cycle of breathing, give more of yourself to this moment. As you hook into it, power will start to build. That power will give you clarity, balanced energy, and ultimately can be used to do anything you need to do. Watch the breath. You might first start to hear it as a ringing noise. That's the language of the power that's building within you. But you just focus on the breath. When you practice in this way, it makes your energy collect as a sphere around your body. This sphere gives you many things. Some protection from the world around you, but also a sense of containment and certainty that makes your actions and your words more powerful. But deeper than that, it trains your mind and this body-mind complex to stop reaching outside of this moment for stimulation. When you walk around this world, reaching outside of this moment, you bring things into the moment that are out of sync with what's actually happening. And it creates dissonance in the space. Any part of yourself that runs you, any part of yourself that you don't have control over, is a part of yourself reaching outside of this moment, trying to conjure things into the space, usually to meet some insatiable need. A need for attention, most often a need for distraction, a need to not have to actually show up and deal with yourself. And so we reach and spin and talk about nothing, about things that don't really matter in this moment. And in doing so, we create waves into this living moment that disrupt the flow. Sometimes the consequences of that are just slight inconveniences and feeling based discomforts. Other times they lead to actions that build and lead to other actions and other actions and other actions, leading to war, leading to death, leading to all sorts of personal or global destruction. The mechanism is the same. This reaching outside of this moment, instead of just staying contained and showing up for what's here, is at the heart of everything you think is wrong with your life. But all the things that you reach for, they're all things outside of this moment. When the irony is, what you need to feel better is to actually stop reaching and just let this moment be enough for a while. Contain yourself, contain your energy in this moment. It looks like a prison only to the most confused part of you. It's actually the thing that sets you free. It's hard because you'll have to share a world with people who can't do that. But you doing it, that's the closest you can get. And if you can do that, you can keep yourself in check, you can keep yourself intact. You'll get signals from your environment when something is coming towards you that needs to be dealt with. You'll find yourself naturally planning the future that is actually building in the present, instead of just some future that's based on your fears and desires, which means your timing becomes impeccable. This is what happens when you just let this moment be enough. It fixes all the other moments. This is the skill of a spiritual warrior. The only part that you're going to battle with is the part that thinks it has to be reaching outside of this moment. Reaching for entertainment, reaching for an identity. Even reaching for a feeling of safety. The irony is you put your safety outside of the moment you're in when you do that. You don't successfully bring that safety to you. Safety comes from awareness and the preparation that just builds naturally in you when you live in contained awareness. Almost nobody knows this. almost nobody really teaches this. And almost nobody knows that they need to hear it. It's not popular. It's the opposite of what everyone thinks they want. But it's what actually gives you what you want. It's what makes it safe for the doors to open. And it's within your reach. Anybody listening to this. It's within your reach right now. Do it now. Take a breath. Anchor yourself in this moment. Notice what is in your space all at once. And let that be enough. Abide there. Use your breath. Use your breath as that concentration that anchors you there in the beginning. As it stabilizes, you'll be able to relax a little more into it. It becomes about just not leaving it. But first, it does take a little effort. That effort is not meditation, it's concentration. But that concentration will lead you to meditation, which is the ability to abide there effortlessly, just because you choose to. Use your breath. Slow yourself way down so you can catch every inch of that breath. You don't need to bring intensity to it. Let your body relax while you do this. Some of you might feel that there is a part of you being swept away into other things. Just keep bringing it back. Keep bringing it back. Keep bringing it back. The system will train. Containment is 9/10 of power. Because without it, power just dissipates. You have consciousness. You have intelligent, awake awareness. And that is power. It's the steam that makes things happen. When you don't stay in this moment, that power leaks, reaches into moments that cannot help you with this moment. Containment is important because it provides the structure through which power can move. If you have a task to perform, contain yourself to this moment and this task. And what you'll find is that that task flows and has power because that form that is the task in this moment has defined channels through which that power can flow. This is true whether you are writing a novel, or brushing your teeth, or taking a walk, or doing a stretch, or speaking. When I teach a class like this, I contain myself to the words that I'm speaking. And so those words come out with power and clarity. They hit differently than if I were to just ramble. I don't think about what I'm going to say ahead of time. It's a remark of this contained moment. Because when you're contained in this moment, you are attached to the highest parts of yourself. You are hooked up. And so you can actually speak to the highest potentials of this moment for whoever's present. And that's not a me thing. That's an us thing. That's something that can develop in any of you. I just developed it. And it's not just a spiritual teaching thing. Anytime you have to have a conversation or speak to anybody, anytime you have to give a talk, for sure, any communication, I'm careful with my communication. I contain it. I use it only when there's something to say. Because I want power to flow through it. And I don't want to train pathways of scatteredness. Containment is 9/10 of power. Notice this moment. Notice the boundaries of your skin. Nothing would work if you lost those boundaries. Notice your relationships. What boundaries do you have there? People often allow their boundaries to be crossed because they want the relationship to work well. When in reality, it's actually boundaries that make a relationship work. Understanding those boundaries is containment. What's going to be okay and what isn't? What are you willing to engage in and what are you not? If you're clear on that, power will move through that too. If it's scattered and undeveloped, then it'll always be weakened by a lack of power. Do you see how this works? let's return to the breath. Contain yourself in the act of breathing in this moment. That means your eyes are seeing everything in the room at once. Your ears are hearing everything in the room at once. You're feeling your skin, and you're watching your breath. And you're letting that be enough. This sort of containment is an art, not a rigidity. Think of the freedom of a dancer. They make it look easy. They contain themselves to certain moves, certain relationships with gravity and muscular contractions, but they're given to it. And so the experience of it for them is liberating, not imprisoning. If they tried to do anything else, it wouldn't work. Breathe in that way. Walk in that way. Speak in that way. Are there any questions about any of that? This is something I'd like you to work on this week. First, use your breath to keep yourself contained in some chosen point of focus in this moment. But then you do have to find that art with it. You have to actually find that place that makes it effortless. And that effortlessness comes from just not reaching outside of it anymore, letting that be enough. See if you can get there with something simple. I think walking is a good one. Every single step just given to that experience while your senses take in your environment. But up to you. All right, I'm going to let you go. I will be back next Thursday. I hope you all have a great week.